Hi friends, welcome to Chelsea Reads, where we get to live vicariously through other people's drama. Today we're going to be exploring r/AntiMLM. Let's see what we got. Okay, so for this post we have a very informative one actually. So the post itself is short, but then the OP provides a lot of context. So the title of the post is the quote, fully paid for Monet trip. So the post itself is a picture outside of an airplane window, and it shows the wing of the plane and a beautiful sunrise or sunset behind it, and it says, "On my way to my second paid-for luxury trip by Monet." And so this is what the OP provides. So what exactly is included in these, quote, fully paid-for trips? Sounds great. Return airfares. Yes, that's right, your amazing, relaxing, paid-for trip begins with dragging your butt out of bed at 2:30 a.m. to get to the airport on the cheapest possible flight as arranged by Monet. How luxurious. 2 nights accommodation, in a shared room. For the tier 1 and 2 plebs, which is basically all of them, your luxury holiday includes sleeping in a room with a potential total stranger. Bliss. I love the sarcasm of this one. That's great. So what about all the amazing food? LOL. Get the heck out of here. Meals aren't included. Oh my gosh, really? You buy all your own food on this, quote, fully paid for luxurious trip, babe. Oh, that's terrible. I feel like at least on a work trip, you get like a per diem or something for like meals provided and all that stuff. So, if it were a legitimate business, a legitimate company, they would actually pay for your food or give you a food budget. So, yikes. Oh, okay, no worries. Oh, by the way, you're also footing the bill for transport to and from the airport, and no, we don't pay for your parking. Okay, so when I arrive at the airport, we will get a limo or something to take us the 67 kilometers, parenthesis 40 miles to the resort? Hell no. You make your own way and pay for it yourself. XX. Ah, right, okay. Well, thankfully on this fully paid for trip, Monet will pick up the tab for my baggage on my flight. Yeah, no. Any Office Space fans here? Yeah, no, we're gonna need you to come in on a Saturday. Of course, in this case, it'd be, we're gonna need you to pay for your own luggage. B, we ain't made of money. You pay for your own goddamn bag. So what about all the amazing things we can do at the resort and the surrounding areas? Monet will have some amazing things for us to do. LMAO. Honey, you can do what you like, but if it's not part of our official indoctrination camp activities, then that's on you. Yeah, I mean, very colorful way to paint it, but probably pretty accurate because of all the cult-like stuff we've talked about with how similar they are. A lot of these trips are just ways to kind of worm their ideas and products and sales tactics and everything just deep into your brain, like a brain slug from Animorphs or something. It's how they take over you. It's how they just really make sure that you're on their team and thinking like the rest of them. I hear. Wow, gee, okay, this is getting kind of expensive. Hey, what if my flights get canceled? Monet will just book me another one, right? Ha 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 ha. It actually spells that out. Oh, sweetie, no. Just no. Cool. Well, at least this is tax-free. Not in Australia, it's not, babe. Oh, wait, I should say, not in Australia, it's not, babe. Oh, I'm sorry, that was terrible. I really apologize to any people watching this from Australia. Not that I think that there are many, but any future Australians watching this video, I'm sorry for the bad accent. You will be solely responsible for income taxes attributable to the non-cash compensation as a result of Monet paying for the incentive trips and other non-cash rewards. That sounded so official. And as an added touch of luxury, if something outside of your control happens, like your mother dies and you can't come on the trip, you'll still be hit with the tax on the value of the trip that you're no longer going on. Monet sure does spoil you. That's awful. That's awful. Oh, and then OP adds in the comments, fun side note, I know at least one hun on this trip who works for herself / owns her own salon. So not only is this trip expensive, she's also losing 3 full days' wages to go on it. Luxury. Oh my gosh. Damn, that's so bad. It's just like all these things that, like, if you were going on a real, quote, luxury vacation, or your work was sending you out somewhere, you would definitely have like a per diem for food. You would have your own room, like all these things that they're just cutting corners on. It's like at that point you might as well just book your own vacation and not have to do this stupid Monet stuff. Okay, so this post is titled Breakup Over Amway. So let's see if OP provides context before we get into the actual meat of the post, which is an exchange of texts. I, 28 female, had been seeing this guy, 28 male, for a couple of months and ended things yesterday over Amway. Oh, and so it's interesting that we actually have a guy this time as the Hunbot in this scenario. And Amway tends to be kind of one of those MLMs that it stands for like American Way, and it's also one of those companies that says, oh, we've been around for decades. He was a really sweet guy, but after finding out last week he was involved in an MLM, I couldn't stop thinking about it. These are the texts between us that led me to realize I would never be okay with this. Parenthesis, audio was just him trying to figure out a time that we could meet. When we first met, we talked about our mutual interest in networking events. Parenthesis, I go to science/medical networking events in my city, and how important it was to advance our careers. Also, I'm rather shy and have been pushing myself to talk to more people, like having small talk with a waitress or quick conversations with a stranger in line at a coffee shop. He would praise me for being so friendly, but now it feels like he saw it as beneficial to him recruitment-wise to be in a relationship with me. Because you're out there talking to people and trying to like better yourself personally and step out of your comfort zone. He's like, okay, so here's someone who's not afraid to talk to people, gives me more of an opportunity to, meet more people to recruit them into my MLM. The random motivational quotes he would throw into conversations always caught me off guard, but it wasn't something that felt disingenuous until I found out about his quote-unquote business. I guess I feel a little sad. I really liked him, and I feel guilty for breaking up with him over this. But I couldn't stop thinking about it, and it made me question his judgment in everything. I really was going to try and sit down with him to hear him out, but once we got into this conversation over text, I realized that I would most likely never be okay with it. Just needed to vent to someone, and I thought this group would have some insight into our conversation. Thank you for listening. And then it's like the little blushy smiley emoji. All right, so here's the actual conversation. Hunbot, Hunboy, he says, Bom dia, princess. About tomorrow. Are you able to come over so we can chat and I can show you my business? Space, question mark. She says, Bom dia. I can dress up for tomorrow. I don't expect you to bring these types of things to this meeting with the couple, but when we talk, I'd like to see some hard numbers. What your gross income and net income from Amway alone was. In addition to that, how much you spent on product, how much you spent on meetings, and any Amway-related items like books or CDs. Do you have something that tracked all of that for the last year so you know how much you net? Additionally, how big your downline is and what your and what your PV was every month last year. Well, I mean, that's really smart. I mean, if you're looking to go into business with anyone, you're going to want to know, like, what their expenses are and how much they've made, especially if they're saying, oh, this is really successful. I've made money in this and you can make money too. So it's like, okay, well, show me proof. How much do you spend on product versus how much are you taking in, how long you've been doing this, and not just how much you spend on product, but, all those other expenses. With me doing the YouTube stuff, I mean, I've got a camera, I work in video, so I already had this, but I did upgrade my microphone. Like, if you want to do any kind of ad boost on your videos or something like that, that's another expenditure. And so those are all things that I track in order to keep track of how much I've spent so far so that eventually when I monetize this channel, hopefully subscribe and help me to monetize this channel. If you can, please. Thank you. I love you. But eventually when that happens, then I'll be able to declare that on my taxes and all that boring adult stuff. So that's what you do in any kind of small business. Then she asks, what level are you? And he says, sounds like you have been doing more research than what's necessary. People, viewers, my friends, lovely, wonderful people, if anyone tells you you've been doing more research than is necessary, red flag. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in. Information is a tool. Information is good. Like, don't listen to people who tell you to stop learning and to stop educating yourself and asking questions. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. This is not about Amway alone. Yes, Amway is the vehicle I use to create income, but this is about the people I am surrounding myself with, and that is what I want you to start learning about. Sounds very controlling. He's not even done texting, and I'm just like, girl, you were right to break up with him. Are you able to stay patient and allow me to educate you at the pace I know is appropriate? I just wanted to throw up in my mouth a little. That was I'm very patient, but I expect hard numbers and answers to my direct questions. Yes, I love this woman. I can sense you are getting defensive. Sounds like a Jedi right there. I sense a disturbance in the Force. I sense defensiveness in your text. Not defensive, just asking questions. Great. So here's my question for you. Since you are wanting to learn about what I do, can you stay patient and allow me to educate you at the pace I know is appropriate? You already said that, bro. I learn fast. I know you do. You are awesome. And then there's like a space, like an enter space. So it just to me, it kind of reads like an awkward silence in visual text form. Because it's like, I know you do. You're awesome. And then she responds back. Do you track monthly all your expenses with Amway? Yes, ma'am. Maybe you can meet me before the meeting. That way, if my numbers don't please you, you can make your decision right there. What do you think? So it sounds like she's supposed to be meeting with a mentor couple. I've heard that happens a lot in Amway. They'll be like, oh, I want you to learn all about this, but I want you to meet my mentors. And so with Amway, the mentors are very controlling over making sure that the right rhetoric is being fed to the new recruits. And so that's why they want to tag team you like a pack of lions or something, or hyenas. There you go. They want to, corner you because it's the pressure of this group coming in at you trying to make this sale. And so it's kind of a predatory tactic. So she says, sure, why don't you come over to my place beforehand and we can talk. And then he sends a voice memo, and there's a little summary. It's like, might be better for me to just go tonight than no way. OP responds, yeah, that sounds good. I have to leave for dance at 5:45, so you can come anytime before that. And he says, I will be working. Can we do after your class? That works. Let me know when you're on your way tonight. Sounds good. I'll be back home around 8 if that works. 9 is a little late for me. And then the guy says, OP, do you see how you are treating me even before we sit down to talk? What happened? What happened to that girl at the pool? I'm sorry. What happened to the girl at the pool that told me she was supportive? I'm not doing anything illegal. And then another awkward silence. Whenever anyone says, I'm not doing anything illegal, that's when you side-eye them. And then there's another awkward silence. Are you still wanting to get to know me? Because it sounds like you have shut yourself down a while ago. How am I treating you differently? I'm being open-minded and asking questions about what you're doing. I haven't said anything negative about what you do. So 9 p.m. is too late for you. We went from seeing each other almost every day to, quote, I am only open Thursday. How many times did I go over and stayed way longer than 9 and everything was fine? Oh, he's a poet and he didn't even know it. Now you are expecting to see results in my business, as if all the businesses out there brought positive results. And she responds to the 9 p.m. was too late for you. It was the same time as last week before I knew what you did. I came over at 8 and left before 10 p.m. The nights we stayed out late, I didn't have work the next morning in person. I have a huge presentation tomorrow morning that I need to be prepared for and have enough sleep. Yeah, especially if she's like a scientist or works in the medical field or something like that, or a medical scientist, you know? You've been short with me and said you have a lot going on with your roommate, and I didn't say anything about it. Being short, how? I wished you a nice day, just like you did. She responds to his comment about businesses, saying, businesses usually don't see a return until after the 2-year mark. Yes, I understand that, but successful businesses have certain trends within that 2-year mark that indicate future success. My mom runs her own business, and I help her with her books and taxes. I know numbers very well. Yeah, and if she helps her mom with her own business that she runs and everything, then that shows that, yeah, she has that experience and knows what to be looking for, which, you know, from her previous text, she's already proved. She says, my mom has owned a store for 10 years. Oh, wow. I have helped for the past 5. I know its ups and downs, but I also know what's a working business model and what's not. She's so smart. I love how eloquent that the OP is. And so the guy responds, that's great. And you know what? I've been in business for 1.5 years, and I am seeing results. Not as big as I wanted, but it's happening. And maybe, who knows, since you are so knowledge, you might even add positive things to my business, which the both of us would win anyway. And he corrects, so knowledgeable. The way that this is broken up, it looks like some type of poem. And you know what? I've been in business for 1.5 years. You know, like some performance poem. Where's the snaps when you need them? That's why I have an open mind, willing to hear you out. But I'm going to be completely honest, I don't believe in MLM business models. Well, do you believe in me? ? If you do, that's all I need. He's so dramatic. Like, I feel like all hens, regardless of gender, they're super dramatic like that. Very like, everything's the end of the world. Like, I'm picturing that scene from Aladdin, the Disney movie, where he's like standing at the edge of the balcony and he holds out his hand to Jasmine and he goes, do you trust me? And she's like, what? And he's like, do you trust me? And she's like, yes. And then he like forces her to jump off of the balcony, only instead there's no magic carpet waiting for you to fall. It's just debt and shame. I know some people make money out of these things, but it's, as we've seen from the actual income reports and everything, it's really only the top 1%, if that. And in most of these business models, if it's an MLM, regardless of what they're selling, the product itself doesn't matter. It's all about the pyramid structure. It's all about getting people underneath you. And the only way that you end up making the kind of money that these MLMs end up promising is through getting in early and hustling and getting a bunch of people in your downline that aren't going to make the same money that you are, and just kind of being a little moralistically shady, I think. I don't know. So let's continue. So she says, I believe in facts, numbers, trend lines, success rates, not motivational quotes, not talk, not recruitment strategies. I don't think you understand business as much as you think you do then. I think that tonight will just be me trying to defend the reason why I picked this type of business, and you constantly trying to attack it. The fact that you are saying you don't believe in those things tells me you don't have a judgment-free mindset about it. I think I will just choose not to waste each other's time as much as I would to be with you. But we don't change the way we look at things. The things we look at will never change. That doesn't mean anything. She says exactly what I was thinking. I was going to comment on this, but she says it better. If asking questions and asking for hard facts is attacking, then I think we have different understandings of what conversations are. If you have to defend a business model and say it's legal and ethical, that's concerning. Yes, it is. Legality doesn't mean it's right. Business is hard. Being in sales is hard, and I would support those things. But the recruitment models for MLMs are predatory. and the numbers don't lie. She's saying everything that I was just saying. You'll only be as successful as the amount of people you recruit, not how good the product or business is. The income disclosures alone from Amway should be an indicator that this model only works for very few people. That's exactly all I was saying. Well, I mean, it goes to show how alike these things are in the sense that, like, they're all the same. All of the MLMs are the same. She continues, I'm not saying you can't be successful in this business, but you'll only be as successful as the amount of people in your downline. Girl, I love this woman. She's so good. She's got such a great head on her shoulders. She explained everything so well. And she's 100% correct that asking questions is not attacking. Asking questions is good. Asking for more information. And there is such a thing as a structured debate and being able to have conversations with someone about things that you don't necessarily see eye to eye on. That's how you grow and learn and discover new viewpoints or just edify the viewpoint you already had, is by talking these things out. So then the guy says, there's a reason why 1% of the population is wealthy, OP. It's lonely at the top. Only those who work hard enough deserve to win. It's life. Ooh, expert on life over here. And then he continues, MLMs work. People that don't work. And then OP responds, I get that the conferences and meetings are filled with so much energy and great people, everyone means well. I believe you're doing it with good intent, but the motivational talks can only get you so far. You need to find the motivation within yourself and do your own business. MLMs don't work. The business plan itself only returns a 1% success rate. Yeah. As we've seen in the numbers. Like, I didn't pull that number out of thin air. Franchising is between a 20 to 90% success rate. Small businesses have a 30% success rate. I could go on with other business models. There's a reason pyramid schemes are illegal. MLMs are legal only because they have product they also sell. I have no problem with being in sales and being a real business owner. There's a lot of risk in that. I have a problem with the recruitment model. And then the guy says, all right, going back to work. Kissy emoji. We don't have to have this conversation over text. I may not be able to be there before 8:40, so we'll try another day. Such a cowardly way to back out. He's realizing that he has no stance with her, that this woman is way too smart, and he knows that his recruitment tactics aren't going to work on her. And so he's just like, I just don't have time. It's totally not because you've made a lot of good points and I don't want to face it. That's totally not it. That's what he's doing right now. And then OP responds, I don't think this is something I can support. I don't believe in the recruitment model, and it sounds like you're not even willing to address that concern. This is definitely a deal breaker for me. I enjoyed getting to know you. You have a big heart and a lot of ambition. Don't ever change your willingness to help other people. It's a beautiful thing. I wish you all the best. And then the guy says, oh, OP. And he does the sad face emoji. And he says, take care of yourself too. That's so sad. You guys. That's actually kind of sad. Like he handled it pretty maturely. He accepted her rejection and is just like, oh, okay, this is over, we're moving on, And so props to him for that. When someone puts down their boundaries and says no, you just accept no. Anyway, so I get that, but I don't know, it's sad that this is something that had to come between a blossoming relationship like that. If he had been willing to kind of listen to the wisdom that she's accumulated over the years, there could have been more room for their relationship to grow, but because he was literally just stamping it out. No, the sense you're making is not good. That's where the line was drawn. And the way he was so condescending about, let me show you the proper way to learn. Let me educate you. and, you know, just kind of saying that, like, oh, you're attacking me for asking questions and wanting to see my numbers, and you're just showing doubt in me. You don't believe in me. Like, like, that's all showing that he's way too stubborn. He's way too caught up in this other thing that he doesn't want to see. He's got the blinders on, you know, he doesn't want to see any other way to go forward, you know? It's kind of sad though, because it's like they had potential, but he just couldn't get out of his own head or out of this business mindset, I guess, in order to really acknowledge that and put his pride aside in regards to this business to listen to what she had to say. And that's what makes it sad to me. Okay, so we got another Monet post, and it's titled $14 million in 2 years, ... Let's do the math. And it's a picture from a conference held for Monet, Australia. It shows a big screen, and it says, Monet, Australia, $14 million, commissions paid. And then the OP says, in 2 years, you guys, with a bunch of sobbing emojis. The context says, I have no idea how many Huns do Monet in Australia, but I believe it's a fair few. For this figure, let's break it down as basic as possible. Let's say there's 1,000 Monet Huns in Australia. I'm confident that there are significantly more. $14 million divided by 1,000 divided by 2 years works out to be $700 annually. ... Life-changing stuff. That's beer money. Hobby money. And then OP continues, the real, 3 crying sobbing emojis, thing here is how many poor, gullible, and vulnerable women are sucked into this despicable company. Yeah, and we're not even going to get into all of the stuff going on with the fact that one owner of Monet is suing the other 2 owners of Monet, who just happen to be a married couple, because the other owner was totally like cut out of the entire process, apparently. But basically, like, the whole company is kind of falling apart. A ton of Huns just made a mass exodus to other MLMs. That's all something that we can dive into in a future episode. But yeah, very, very interesting. $700 a year? I mean, I wouldn't say no to an extra $700 a year. Thank you. Thank you very much, you know. But you take that into account with how much have these Huns already invested in this business, in as far as product and advertising and all of that stuff. Have they made their money back? And that's if it's distributed evenly, which you know that it's not. So, yeah. That was good. Okay, you guys, well, I think that that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's stories and everything. Yeah, and I hope that the on-camera stuff is working out. It's definitely fun. It's a little different. I'm still working out the, you know, all of the little wrinkles and everything, but we'll get there. I'm sure watching back videos, hopefully in like a year from now or something, we're going to really see a good progression and stuff. And so I hope that you've been enjoying it. And yeah, give this video a little like, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, share it with somebody who you think might enjoy this content. And yeah, I always go, and yeah, yeah. I hope that you have a very wonderful day. And as you go throughout your day, please remember to not only be kind to other people, but please be kind to yourself as well. Talk to you soon.